No one has done Trans Am better sooner than Ernie Francis Jr. He dominated the production classes and at 19 moved up to the 800 horsepower monsters of Trans Am. Now in his rookie season, he's already clinched the Trans Am championship. Today, he faces two other young hotshoes who've come to Texas determined to give Francis a run for his money. Trans Am is next from Circuit of the Americas. Welcome to Circuit of the Americas outside Austin, Texas. Coverage of Trans Am, America's road racing series, presented by Pirelli. Today, it's the Trans American from COTA. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Circuit of the Americas. I'm Rick Benjamin. NASCAR star Michael McDowell joins me for the call in a moment. Ashley Van Dyke has our coverage today down on pit road. Getting close to the end of the 2017 season, young Ernie Francis Jr. from South Florida has claimed his first ever Trans Am title after several titles in TA3 and TA4. It's been quite a rookie season. TA3 still up for grabs between the fall line Porsche teammates Tim Kesman, Mark Bowden still fighting for that championship. Brian Kleeman has all but claimed the title in TA4 at his Mustang, but in all three categories, a host of new challengers are here this weekend to try to steal some victories. One of those in TA is Lawrence Lojack, a TA2 standout the last several seasons, making his first Trans Am start in Claudio Burton's Chevrolet. He's with Ashley.
Lawrence Lojack, a familiar name and face here in Trans Am, but a debut in the TA class this weekend. You're starting second for Burton Racing. Tell us about your plans for the weekend and how it's been going so far.
I mean, I'm just overjoyed. This is so exciting to be in TA1, to be able to drive this machine. Burton Racing just did an amazing job, made it very easy for me to just climb into this thing and be competitive. We have a total of 17 laps in this machine. I'm just lost for words. I mean, to be sitting here in P2 right behind the champion. Ernie locked up the championship the last race. You know, look at the names back here. To be, you know, this is all fast company here. Paul Fix and Marks is here this weekend. I mean, like I said, I'm just living the dream.
Lawrence Lojack is the third driver in the Claudio Burton stable to drive this number 50 Go Share Camaro this season, Rick.
Lojack made a great transition this weekend out of his TA2 machine. We'll see how he fares from the outside pole. Your pole starter, champion Ernie Francis Jr., who's been dominant this season. Michael McDowell wants to put another victory up on the board.
So impressive, and to be the champion so early on in the season. Vinny Algret has been chasing him, and there's a lot of fast guys that want that top step today.
Vinny will start from the 5 spot here this afternoon. One of the changes in TA4 this weekend, Shane Lewis, who is a championship contender in TA2, stepping into a Mustang for J.R. Pesic this weekend. It's liveried in the 22 and in tribute to Mel Shaw. And we talked to Shane before the start about how honored he feels getting an opportunity to drive this Mustang in today's event.
Well, it means a lot. You know, Mel was a friend of mine. He was a great friend to everybody here in Trans Am, just a great character, and we miss him immensely. When they first asked me to drive the car, I'm like, well, you know, I'm really busy with TA2 and the championship, there are a few other things. And then they told me it would be the 22 car in his colors in honor of him, and there was no way I could say no. That, you know, put it on the pole is really, really nice. I'm not going to mess up any of the TA4's championship races, anything like that. Hopefully I can maybe stay up front and do that, let Brian do his things, the rest of the guys do his thing, but this really, you know, JR and all the guys prepping this car, I'm so happy to be here.
Shane Lewis, a terrifically talented wheelman, honoring Mel Shaw with that number 22 on that Ford Mustang this weekend. He'll be your pole qualifier in TA4.
All engines are started in the grid.
We'll give you a little different look at Circuit of the Americas this weekend. We'll take a ride with Jake Dallenbach, Wally's son, who drives the BMW safety car at all Trans Am events. Jake, an instructor at the BMW Performance Driving School, and they supply our safety car week in and week out in the Trans Am series. Interesting racetrack, Michael McDowell. 20 turns, 3 1/4 miles as the Trans Am field starts to come out onto the facility here. And there's some long straightaways, some really tight technical turns here.
A beautiful race course. I have not had the privilege to drive on it, but watched a lot of racing here. Great passing zones, elevations, blind corners, everything a driver wants.
Uphill on the front straightaway into turn 1, and then a very tight, more than 180-degree left to get you down the road into turn number 2. Ty Napierowski in his Chevrolet Performance Parts Camaro, the 39 39 car starts 4th in TA4 today. We asked Todd to give us a special look around Circuit of the Americas, kind of from a driver's perspective this weekend.
Okay, we're here at COTA. We're going to take one lap around in the TPR Chevrolet Performance Camaro. Here we are in turn 1, the classic uphill 180-foot rise. There's some new bumps there in this corner. The car compresses really well until you roll it in on the 180-degree turn. It unloads. You got to be careful there and get a good run down the hill. Get the car left of center to set up for the apex here, and then move the car to the right to set up for the S's. Coming in from the right, it makes the S's a lot easier to roll through quickly. You want to make sure that you scrub a little speed to stay on line and be fast through this section here. Okay, here's another critical part, turn 8. Getting over on the curbing to straighten out this line into the left-hander so we can get a run down the hill. Getting out on the curbing full throttle and a fast run down using all the track out and getting down into turn 11. Okay, we're exiting corner 15 to get set up for the carousel. Corner 16, 17, and 18, another critical area. A long sweeping right-hander, double apex, full throttle, and then balancing the throttle to get through the corner. Rotating the car, and getting down into corner 19, which is a fast left-hander, light brush of the brakes, getting the car over on the apex. Using all the track out, running hard down into turn 20, the most important corner as well. Hard on the brakes. Down on the apex, tracking out, and back onto the front straightaway.
And that's a quick look at Circuit of the Americas from Todd Napierowski, who drives the 39 car, the Chevrolet Performance Parts TCR Team Camaro. He'll start 4th in TA4. There's a look at Greg Pickett's brand new Tony Ave machine. Greg, a former Trans Am Series champion. He has won a Trans Am race in 5 different decades. He will be the TA West champion. The TA West Series getting started this year with 5 races. This is their final round. Pickett and Tommy Dreese, the top 2. Richard Wall and Kyle Kelly also in the hunt. Tommy is in the field today, and Greg Pickett in that 68 car. He said it was as close as he could come to his age by getting that car number. Greg, one of the great guys in this series.
Won a lot of races, great for motorsports, not only as a driver, but as an owner and a sponsor. He's done a lot for a lot of guys in this sport.
TA field coming to the green. Justin Marks starting outside row number 2 in that 25 car, the Catera Chevrolet. Great story behind that car. I know you know Justin quite well. We'll see how he fares here today. Ernie Francis Jr. leads him to the green flag. We're underway at Circuit of the Americas. Marks to the outside into 1.
A wide turn 1, Justin Marks using all the racetrack, gets around, uses all the exit, might have second place here.
Marks making a bold move to get by Ernie Francis Jr. to grab the lead.
Well, that didn't take long at all. Justin Marks being very aggressive. Everybody on cold tires here. He just went for it, got the lead. Let's see if Ernie Francis Jr. can keep the pressure on him.
Points not an issue. Marks and Lojack, 1st and 3rd, not running for a championship in TA. As we watch the TA3 start, Jason Daskalos in the Viper, rookie Kurt Fazekas in the 52. That's a Kelly Moss Porsche. Daskalos gives up the top spot. Fazekas takes over, and the 5 goes around. Milton Grant has spun. Daskalos has retaken the lead. There's Grant off course in the Century Self-Storage Porsche, a 997. He is trying to get that car refired. Kind of hung up on the curbing there.
Almost got through 2 starts clean there, 3, 4 wide. Let's see if we can get these TA4 cars through.
Shane Lewis in the 22 grabs the lead coming out of turn 1 ahead of Brian Kleeman, who will be your champion, it appears. Grant back underway in the 5 car. Lewis is going to blow by him, as does the 07 of Kleeman. Couple of Ford Mustangs at the front. Meantime, in Trans Am and overall, the Catera Construction 25 of Justin Marks out in front and pulling away.
Justin was so excited. They built this race car at Robbie Benton's shop, a friend of his at Change Motorsports. These guys work day and night to build a brand new car. Justin loves the Trans Am Series, and he's showing it today.
Marks out in front of the 25, up the front straightaway here into turn 1. That elevation change is severe into 1 here.
It's really hard to tell how steep that elevation is, but you can see the guys braking so late as the cars come up the hill and compress. But as soon as you get to the top of the hill, it starts going downhill. Car gets light. You got to make 180 degree, even a little bit more back to the left.
100 miles of Trans Am racing at Circuit of the Americas. Marks is your leader. Ernie Francis Jr. not used to running second. We'll see how he approaches this.
The neat thing about Ernie Francis Jr., he's already locked the championship. He can be just as aggressive as Marks and Lojack today. Nothing on the line for him. He's already wrapped it up. He can go for it. A win's the only thing that matters today.
Mark's on the gas, coming to the front straightaway, still your leader, but Ernie Francis starting to reel him in here as they hit turn 1. Justin Marks is out in front. Ernie Francis, the new Trans Am champion, in second spot. We'll be back at Circuit of the Americas.
The Trans Am Racing Series on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Three Dimensional Services Group, Prototype, Production, Proven. By GoShare, your friend with a truck. And by Chevrolet Performance, fueling the passion of automotive enthusiasts with vehicle-specific performance parts, crate engines, and transmissions that are designed, engineered, tested, and backed.
Welcome back to Austin, Texas, Circuit of the Americas. I'm Rick Benjamin, Michael McDowell alongside Ashley Van Dyke with our coverage today on pit road. Really interesting field here. Some new contenders for second now. The Ferrari of Marco Radicic, the 11 car, and Kurt Fazekas in the 52. That's a Kelly Moss prepared Porsche. They're fighting for that spot now in front of Mark Bowden in the 46, who's leading the championship standings at TA3. The leader of the race, Jason Daskalos in that Viper, who won the last time we came to you with our coverage from Road America in Wisconsin. Up front, meantime, Justin Marks under attack here from Ernie Francis Jr. and Lawrence Lojack has made it a three-way fight.
Three-way battle for the lead. Justin Marks jumped out to an early lead, but Ernie Francis closed the gap, and Lawrence Lojack is right on his heels.
Early in the going here at Circuit of the Americas, these three have a good battle shaping up. In the 50 car, Lojack making his first Trans Am start. Michael, he's jumped into a car that makes nearly 800 horsepower. His TA2 car just short of 500. That's a big change.
Huge transition, lots of power, more downforce, bigger brakes. Everything about a TA car is bigger, faster, stronger. Huge transition, and Lawrence Lojack is doing it.
He has adapted to this car beautifully. This is the Claudio Burton machine, the Burton Racing 50. We've seen Martin Reiginger get in this car and go fast. Andy Lally was terrific in this car at Watkins Glen earlier. Claudio Burton's been strong in this car as well. Speaking of strong, here's Shane Lewis in the hunt for the championship in TA2 most of the season. Jumps into this 22 car, this Ford Mustang. He's got a good lead over Brian Kleeman, who's the championship leader, on his way, it appears, to a TA4 title here at Circuit of the Americas.
Kleeman just needs a strong day, no mistakes, just run right where he's at. He's not racing Shane Lewis for the championship. Shane Lewis is out front and checked out in that Melshaw tribute.
On board here with Kleeman through the twisties at Circuit of the Americas. You get a little, this is one of the flatter parts of the racetrack. Now a little bit of an elevation change. This is a tough part of this track, very technical through here.
And you can see Kleeman's got an issue that looks like they ran a little bit wide. You heard those tires squealing, getting everything he can out of that Mustang.
Battle for the lead in TA3, meantime, Fazekas in the 52. Radicic in the 11. Now that's a 458 model Ferrari, not the newer 488. And there's one of the Ginettas. We've got a couple of experimental Ginettas in the field. Race team out of New Braunfels, Texas, not far from Circuit of the Americas, bringing two of these cars for Parker Chase and Englishman Charlie Robertson in the 69. They are not running for points or finishing position. These are cars that expect to compete in TA3 with us next season in Trans Am.
Obviously, a lot of speed, very competitive right out of the gate. A cool looking car, but what I love right now is you see all these manufacturers.
Guy Dreyer and his Guy Dreyer Designs Maserati, meantime, in TA4, in some trouble at the exit of turn 1. We'll see if that brings out a yellow. TA3, meantime, Fazekas still your leader over Radicic. There's Bowden in the 46, getting by Robertson in the Ginetta, the 69. Again, not running for position or points, just proof of concept, if you will, here this weekend. That Ginetta, though, very, very strong.
A great battle. Bowden's used to being out front or battling with his teammate, but today, a lot of competition.
Bowden in the fall line Porsche, the 46 car. He's been the series dominator. He and his teammate Tim Kesman have been up front week in and week out. John, there you mentioned Kleeman with problems. Left front tire has come apart on that car. Cut that tire down somewhere out on the circuit. Kleeman will dive for pit road. With championship points at stake, his team will jump into action, make a quick tire change if they can, if he can get it back to pit road.
And this is exactly what Kleeman didn't want to have happen today. Just needed a solid day, get to the end, get to the finish, and he could wrap up this championship. It's not over yet, but he has to get back to pit road. And the thing that you worry about right now is you see that tire, it can do a lot of body damage, it can do suspension damage as that tire's coming apart. If he can get to pit road, his team can get a new left front tire on there, hopefully get him back in the race.
These Pirelli Racing radials have been terrific in their first season as Trans Am's official tire vendor, but occasionally you hit something or run over something, tires do get cut. in racing. Up front, meantime, for overall honors and the Trans Am lead, Justin Marks in that 25 car, trying to hold off champion Ernie Francis Jr. in the frameless shower doors for the 98. And Lawrence Lojack right there as well. Before the start, we asked Justin Marks about his plans for this new race car come 2018. Will he be back in Trans Am?
I mean, Trans Am's always been something that I've had my eye on. I've always wanted to drive these cars. You know, like early in my career, racing with guys like Boris and Scott Sharp and some of these guys talking about how awesome these cars, you know, are to drive. And so for a long time, I wanted to just try one. And so earlier this year, I was able to do that with Tony Ave's group and his Mustang, and it was a total blast. So you know, if the time permits and budget permits, and we all want to go to the racetrack and have some fun, we'll keep doing these.
Certainly looking forward to seeing Justin Marks next season in Trans Am. Change Racing, Robbie Benton's group takes care of that car. That's a Huffaker Engineering chassis. Caution waving meantime. Guy Dreyer in the 13 at the end of the front straightaway off course. He's been sitting there. Trans Am officials deciding to go full course yellow at this point.
Safety first concern. Fun to see Justin Marks interviewed there, talking about the history in Trans Am and the guys that he grew up watching. Now getting to drive a TA car, very cool for him.
So this will bunch the field up, still early in the going, still 58 minutes and change of racing here. We run 75 minutes or 100 miles, whichever comes first. Shouldn't have too much trouble getting the full 100 miles in today here at Circuit of the Americas. Jake Dowland back in that BMW Performance Driving School safety car at the head of the field. It'll be Marks in the 25, Francis in the 98, and the 50 of Lawrence Lojack. Your top three for the restart when we come back in Austin, Texas. Welcome back to Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. Coverage of Trans Am presented by Pirelli, Trans Am America's Road Racing Series. It's the Trans American from COTA. I'm Rick Benjamin, Michael McDowell alongside under caution. Guy Dreyer off course at the end of the front straightaway. He's been retrieved, and we should be set to go back racing here in just a couple of moments. Watching that TA3 field, Mark Bowden and Tim Kesman, the two teammates from Fall Line, in their Porsches fighting for the championship here. Bowden is the championship leader. But Parker Chase in the Ginetta, his teammate Charlie Robertson out of Great Britain, these are fast. Now, these are cars we'll most likely see in TA3 next season.
They're neat looking cars. They're very good in the brake zones, cornering speed. Seem to be down just a little bit to the Porsches down the straightaway, but this is a great chance for them to see how they stack up, the adjustments that might need to be made to keep all these cars competitive, and Trans Am does a great job of that. That's why we see such fierce battling with all manufacturers throughout all three different divisions.
The BMW Performance Driving School safety car diving for pit road. Justin Marks will lead the field to green. Single file restart. A jailbreak behind him, though, a big move. That's Paul Fix, who won here a year ago in the Stop Flex 4 car. He jumps up to second, and he's putting pressure on Marks.
A great restart. I'm not sure if that'll be under review. It looked like Paul Fix was out of line and passing cars before the start-finish line. It could be close to when they threw the green. Either way, being aggressive, Ernie Francis ends up on the wrong side of this, goes from second to fifth in one straightaway.
Just got past there and shuffled back to fifth by Lawrence Lojack. So Ernie Francis showing rare vulnerability. Paul Fix, meantime, in that Tony Ave Mustang on the charge, putting heavy pressure here on Justin Marks.
And you can see Paul Fix, he's got the adrenaline going, that big restart. He's pushing that car hard, sliding it around. Now is the time to get to that lead if you can.
Ave Motorsports also fields a Chevrolet driven by Tommy Dreese. That's the 8 car. Dreese got a great restart as well and moved up to third. Here's Ernie Francis trying to move to the inside. Lojack cuts him off.
Lojack went defensive, and while doing that is able to get around Dreese, slides the car off the corner, putting the power down.
Meantime, defending Trans Am two-time champion Amy Ruman in the 23 car. She hasn't been heard from much this season. She's on the charge here, getting up behind the 98 car. Braking here for the left-hander. She'll go alongside Ernie Francis Jr., gives him room. Little brake lock up in front of Ernie there, some tire smoke.
Everybody pushing hard, and this is what happens on restarts. It's your opportunity to make big moves. We saw big moves going into turn one. As they get single file here, everybody's pushing hard trying to get those spots.
Lojack in the 50, running in third now. A lot of pressure there from the 8 of Tommy Dreese. What about Ernie Francis Jr., Michael McDowell, back in 5th? He's not used to being anywhere other than in the lead.
He got used up a little bit on that restart. Like you said, Ernie's used to being out front, but one thing we know is he's calm and cool. He doesn't get rattled too much.
Justin Marks diving for pit road here out of the top spot. What's going on here? We're hearing from Trans Am officials he's going to serve a drive-through penalty.
Very unfortunate for Justin. Out front all day, took the lead on the first lap, first turn from 4th position. Had a shot at winning this race. Unfortunately, this will probably end that opportunity.
And the call from the officials is that Justin did something improper by centering his steering wheel back before the start.
Right before the start, Justin Marks pulled to the side, indexed his wheel just to make sure that it's straight, pulled back in line before the green flag came out. However, in Trans Am's rules, you're not allowed to do that. Once you stop on the racetrack, you have to go to the tail of the field. Him not knowing that, being new to the series, pulled back in line, and now he's got to serve a stop-and-go penalty.
Meantime, at the front of the TA3 field, trouble for Kurt Fazekas in the Kelly Moss Porsche of the 52 car. He has made some contact, it appears, with one of the other contenders. Here it is from Mark Bowden's onboard. Yeah, he got into the Ferrari.
You see side by side, got a little bit tight as he went up over the curb. Not enough room for both of them. Heavy contact made.
Radisik in the 11 car, meantime, spun and backed that Ferrari into the Armco. He is out of the car walking, as you can see. He was definitely a contender for TA3 honors today in that precision driving Ferrari 458 Challenge entry. At least for now, a local yellow only. The Trans Am field still going at it here. Vinny Allegretta in the 41 trying to chase down Tommy Dreese in the 8 car. Right behind those two contenders, Amy Ruman, the series champion from 2016. Running order, top of your screen, presented by Pirelli, our official tire supplier of the Trans Am Championship. On board here with Allegretta, a little frustrated. He likes this place. He said, man, I have got to get my first Trans Am win before the season's over, but he's struggling here a bit in 5th spot.
A very challenging racetrack. I've been so impressed with Vinny. He's been aggressive. He's really transitioned into these cars great, showing the level of professionalism he has as a driver. Next year, I think we'll see a breakout season for him.
Vinny Allegretta rolled that car in tough fashion at Watkins Glen back in September. Team did a great job. They got him ready to race, and the car's been completely redone since then. He swings to the inside, gets by Dreese to pick up a spot here. And the 78 of Andrew Entwistle, the Phoenix Performance Mustang, he was our winner at Indianapolis Motor Speedway back in June. In trouble on the course, and that will bring out a full course caution. Paul Fix has taken the lead in Trans Am. He's your overall leader as well. Lawrence Lojack in 2nd spot in the 50 car. 3rd to Ernie Francis Jr., our new champion in Trans Am, in the frameless shower doors 98 car. Right behind those 3, Vinny Allegretta will restart in 4th position. Caution reigns here in the Trans-American from COTA. We'll be back on CBS Sports Network.
Trans Am on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Speedcom Communications. For 20 years, the world leader in motorsports radio and communications systems.
Welcome back to Circuit of the Americas outside Austin, Texas. Justin Marks will have to restart the Catera Chevrolet from 12th spot. Michael McDowell, as good a race car driver as he is, as fast as that car's been, I don't think he'll have a lot of trouble getting back in contention here.
The caution definitely helps bunch up that field as we get ready for a restart here. Allows Justin Marks to get to the tail of the field after serving that penalty. We'll see if he can get his way back to the front.
BMW Performance Driving School safety car to pit road. Green flag in the air. Fix, Lojack, Francis, and Allegretta, your top 4. Plenty of racetrack here on the front straightaway. Field fans out. Amy Ruman trying to move up. Greg Pickett back there in 7th.
Turn 1 here. Obviously great racing. It's wide. It gives you the opportunity to go for a pass as we see Lauren Lojack getting around Paul Fix for the lead.
Lojack making the move in the 50 car. What a story it would be if he could bag the victory here in his first start in an 800 horsepower Trans Am machine. He's giving Claudia Burton's Chevrolet quite a ride. Ernie Francis Jr. on the attack as well.
Ernie Francis Jr. doing what he does best, staying in contention, staying in the fight. Still a lot of race to go here. He does have some work in front of him, but we see him do it before.
On board with Fix and that Tony Abe prepared Mustang. The Stop Flex Ford, the 4 car. Lojack under heavy braking. Fix will try an inside move in 1. Lojack tries the over and under to get the lead back. Fix wiggles coming off the corner. They are side by side.
Fierce racing. Paul Fix deep in the brakes. Lojack crosses him up. He's got the inside line. Let's see who lifts first.
Ernie Francis Jr. meantime says, hey, I've got an opportunity. He buzzes by the 4 and takes 2nd back. Race drivers know, Michael McDowell, you certainly employ this on a restart or the start. best times to pass.
I always talk about it. It is your time to pounce. Everybody's nose to tail, cold tires, cold brakes. You catch somebody sleeping or off guard, you can get to the lead like we saw Lojack do, but Ernie Francis is putting on the pressure.
And Paul Fix has a problem in the stop flex Ford. That could be the reason right there. Fix got to the lead, held it through the restart. He's got an issue right now. He is off the pace in the 4-car.
Really unfortunate, Paul Fix. We saw the aggression. I love seeing that. And unfortunately, he's got some kind of mechanical issues holding him back today.
Might be a gearbox problem. Engine sounds like it's fine, but some of the TA3 contenders, one of the Ginettas, and Jason Daskalos in the Viper got by, so you know there's a problem. Up front, meantime, Lojack and Francis running 1-2 here on the front stretch.
Long straightaway. You can actually get a little bit of a draft in these cars with big bodies, coming up the hill, hard on the brakes, down through the gearbox. This is a great place to make a pass.
20 minutes of racing remaining here in the Trans-American at Circuit of the Americas. Lojack is your leader. Ernie Francis Jr., the new Trans Am champion, going for his 9th win of the season. Paul Fix is on pit road. Here's Ashley.
Rick, you've got Paul Fix coasting in to his pit stop down here with that Ford Mustang. The team is reporting the car has lost a cylinder. Unfortunately, Fix was leading earlier in the race, and it looks like he is not going to be able to finish on the lead lap with these TA cars here today.
Unfortunate to see Paul Fix on pit road after such a great restart, taking the lead, showing that aggression. Unfortunately, he will not get the victory today, but definitely showed the speed to do it.
And when the pit crew is not in a hurry to get the hood off, you know that it's probably the end of the day.
Not the end of this battle for the lead, however. Ernie Francis Jr. still pouncing on Lawrence Lojack. Lawrence Lojack running the defensive line, trying to hold him off.
Lojack, the latest in a cast of all-star drivers, taking over the 50 car. Martin Reiginger was first up. He stepped into the GoShare Chevrolet at Mid-Ohio. That marked a new commitment to Trans Am by Burton Racing without team owner Claudio Burton behind the wheel. Road course superstar Andy Lally took the car to victory at Watkins Glen. And now TA2 star Lawrence Lojack gets his opportunity to shine at Circuit of the Americas.
Well, we're super excited to have Lawrence in the car this weekend. He's taken to this car like warm butter on toast. GoShare is doing great. Our association with Trans Am has been fantastic, and CBS has really promoted us great. We've hit several milestones this year. Over 1,000 licensed drivers and 40,000 applications. We're recently going to open Miami and have opened several cities over this last 6 months.
GoShare.com. GoShare, your friend with a truck. Get a couple of delivery professionals with a truck or van to help you out. The GoShare 50 car, Lawrence Lojack out in front. Meantime, the fight for honors at TA3. Tom Herb, Dirk Leuenberger in the Lux Performance Viper, the 35. Oh, dirt tracks it, goes sideways, manages to avoid spearing Tim Kesman.
A great battle there, lots of car control, and that's what's great about this particular circuit. A lot of runoff. Even though you see those painted lines, there's room for air, there's room to get a little bit wide, and thankfully they had that extra course there.
How good a race car driver is Shane Lewis? You can see Lewis in the 22 leading TA4 up with these fast TA3 cars.
It's always great to have a rabbit to chase, and Shane Lewis is so far in front in that TA4, he's even chasing these TA3 guys.
Battling for honors here, Tim Kesman in the Ford car. One of the championship contenders, his teammate Tom Herb back there in 5th. The leader, though, is Jason Daskalos in his Dodge Viper. We'll be back at Circuit of the Americas. Trans Am 2, powered by AEM Infinity. Next week, coverage here from Circuit of the Americas outside Austin, Texas. Guy Robinson, Shane Lewis should be among the contenders as the championship fight draws to its final stages. Hope you can join us next week. Adam Andretti in the field as well here at Circuit of the Americas for Trans Am TA2, powered by AEM Infinity. Up front in this one, meantime, Ernie Francis Jr. wearing out Lawrence Lojack in the GoShare Chevrolet as they fight for the lead. The clock winding down. Time for about 5 more laps of racing here at COTA.
It never fails. Ernie Francis Jr. at the end of the race is in position to win, putting the pressure on Lawrence Lojack, and you can see Lojack, he's sliding the car around, using up the brakes, and Ernie stays calm. He keeps his equipment underneath him, and when it gets to the closing laps, he's always there.
You could see some contact. We saw it a moment ago. The nose piece on the 98 cars bent a little bit there. Ernie Francis Jr. in that frameless shower doors Ford, our new champion in Trans Am. looking for the all-time record of victories across classes in Trans Am competition. This would be his 32nd career win if he can get around Lojack and close the deal here today. Long gap back to third spot. The 41 of Vinny Allegretta just coming off turn 20.
It just shows how fast of a pace those leaders are running. Not only are they battling tooth and nail, but they are pulling away from the field. We see Justin Marks making a great recovery all the way from the back of the pack on the last restart to work his way into fourth.
He's gotten by Amy Ruman. He's gotten by Tommy Dreese. Ruman and Dreese, the 23 and the 8, fighting for a top 5 finish here at Circuit of the Americas. Justin Marks, in just his second career Trans Am start, back to fourth. Meantime, up front, Lojack and Francis putting out quite a fight here as they dive into the left-hander. Lojack's car starting to slide around Michael McDowell. I'm wondering, is he prepared for the late stages of one of these 100-mile sprints? He's never driven one of these cars before.
Obviously, the first race for him in TA, we talked about more horsepower, bigger brakes, more downforce, but you can use your car up more, and we see that right here. In the brake zones, he's starting to fade a little bit. We see tires locking up. Those rear tires are sliding. Ernie Francis Jr. still hitting his marks, getting a straight drive off the corners. It looks like he's in position to put Lojack in a spot where he may make a mistake.
Ernie Francis Jr. has made such a tremendous transition to the TA category after 3 consecutive championships in TA3 and 4. He racked up 23 victories over the last 3 seasons, 8 so far this year in Trans Am. He's on the verge of setting an all-time record.
It's really, really awesome to be 4 in a row of champions, and then also 31 wins overall in the series. It's really awesome to have those figures behind us. If we can win another race and be the new #1 with most wins in the series, that'd be pretty awesome. For me, I just want to win anything that I can. Different series, different kinds of cars. I did a bunch of NASCAR testing recently, and hopefully that's going to work out pretty good, and some more Trans Am stuff.
The future incredibly bright for 19-year-old Ernie Francis Jr. Meantime, in TA4, these two have had quite a season. Ty Napierowski in that Chevrolet Performance Camaro. Kleeman, it appears, will be your TA4 champion, but Napierowski's had a great season in a car that has a lot of production parts.
For all you Chevrolet fans at home, you know you can get anything Chevrolet Performance at sdparts.com. Skog and Dickey Parts Center in Lubbock, Texas has got you covered, and Todd Napierowski, as he's got many of those factory parts running on this TA4 car.
Todd and his team a little late arriving here at Circuit of the Americas because this car was on display at the SEMA show in Las Vegas. We were there as well a couple of days ago. Big part of the Chevrolet Performance display. Todd's Camaro uses production shocks, sway bars, springs, and a lot more.
And we know that we had this really capable ZL11LE. You know, it's actually done 24 hours of development testing. It's ran the famed Nürburgring, and we knew how hardened that hardware set is. And we thought if we partnered with Todd, he could also help us with what combination of parts and tuning for a total race environment in a lightened car, you know, a cage car, and all the things that he would need to make it to work in a race environment. So we partnered with him so that we could actually learn from what testing and development he does, as well as what parts that we could make available to Camaro SS buyers.
And that car has gotten better and better as the season has worn on. Amy Ruman, meantime, the defending Trans Am champion, she will not be able to defend her title. She spins in the S's, gets the 23 car pointed in the right direction. Let's take a look from her onboard view. Up behind Tommy Dreese.
Just pushing hard, got into the corner, transition left to right, got that rear end swaying around, and unfortunately just a self-induced spin.
Battle for the lead, meantime, moving by the TA4 car of Steven Davison as Claudio Burton watches his driver, Lawrence Lojack, trying to put a victory on the board here today for the GoShare team. We'll be right back. Back at Circuit of the Americas, Ernie Francis Jr. trying to find a way around Lawrence Lojack. Coming to the white flag next time by in the Trans-American from COTA. Lojack offline. Ernie gets inside, can't make the pass.
Ernie's doing exactly what he needs to do. Pressure on, pushing Lojack, getting him wide in the corner. He's got 1 lap to make it happen. Can he do it?
Over on the backside of the circuit here at Circuit of the Americas, 3¼ miles around here, 20 turns. That's around turns 14, 15, 16. That's a really tight section back through there and very flat.
You see Claudio Burton watching his driver lead the race. He looks anxious, and he should be. We have a fierce battle for that top spot.
Lojack in that 50 car has done a terrific job. In his first Trans Am start, big difference from a TA2 car, about 300 more horsepower, a lot more tire, a lighter race car, just a whole different animal.
And he's got one more lap to do it here. As he comes onto the straightaway, get a good shot off, wants to make sure that Ernie Francis doesn't get in his slipstream, but Ernie Francis gets a great drive off the corner. He's in position. Will he pull out and pass?
On the outside, white flag was waving as they came down the front stretch. Lojack defends to the inside. Ernie goes outside in. Side by side, heading to 2. Lojack hugging the inside, but he is offline. The next one's a left-hander. Ernie Francis takes the lead.
Wow, what a great pass, a great series of corners. Both guys racing as hard as they can, but giving each other a little bit of room. Let's see if Lojack can mount up a charge back on Ernie Francis Jr.
Now, we've seen earlier today, Michael McDowell, there are some places where Lojack's been better than Ernie Francis on this circuit.
We have, and it's coming up in this section here. He's been very good in the brakes. We see slower traffic in front. Looks like that will not play into the factor, but Ernie Francis Jr. is stretching out his lead.
Ernie Francis Jr. gunning for his 9th win of the season here. See if he can close the deal. He's got a few more corners to get the victory. Lojack wiggles coming off the corner.
Both drivers laying it on the line. Ernie Francis doing what he's done all year, and that's win. But it's been different this race. He hasn't had a big lead. He had to earn it. He had to fight for it, and fight for it he did.
Ernie Francis Jr. has used up the nose piece of that frameless shower doors Ford, getting back to the lead here. He's shown a lot of patience today.
He's shown a lot of patience all season, staying calm, cool, collected, being aggressive when he needs to be, but also managing his equipment very well, and that's what he did today. He stayed in contention, he waited till the last lap, and then he went for it.
Ernie Francis Jr. already clinching the Trans Am Championship before this one even began, gunning for his 9th Trans Am win of the season. He was 8 for 11 coming in. This would be 9 wins in 12 starts, with just the season finale at Daytona coming up next week. Pulling away from Lawrence Lojack. That's got to be the most helpless feeling in the world, Michael, as a race car driver. You get passed for position or for the lead, and you can't do anything about it.
And on the last lap, Lawrence Lojack did a great job all day long, but Ernie Francis takes the checkered flags, not only the champion, but the race winner here today.
Final lap pass for the lead and the victory by Ernie Francis Jr. in the 98 car. His 9th Trans Am win in 12 starts in 2017. No fluke that he won the championship. In TA3, Jason Daskalos in the 7th car, his Dodge Viper out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Daskalos will be your winner there, as the Ginettas show very well here today. We should see the Ginettas next year in TA3. In Trans Am, Daskalos coming with the victory in Trans Am 3 here today. In TA4, it's been Shane Lewis out front all the way. We'll see if he can get around and take the checkered flag in TA4. Daskalos waving to the crowd here at Circuit of the Americas. And there's the 22, the Mel Shaw Tribute Ford Mustang from the Pesic family stables here. And Shane waves as well. He is your winner in TA4. He'll go for a double victory. He'll try for the Trans Am 2 win later this weekend here at Circuit of the Americas. We'll have coverage of that one for you next week here at CBS Sports Network. Shane decides to do a tribute to Mel Shaw, burning those tires up here at Circuit of the Americas.
Very cool for Shane Lewis to get in that car and do exactly what he wanted to do, honor Mel Shaw, and he got the victory as well.
Flag to flag for Shane Lewis. We'll be back.
The Trans Am Racing Series on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by 3-Dimensional Services Group, Prototype, Production, Proven. By GoShare, your friend with a truck. And by Chevrolet Performance, fueling the passion of automotive enthusiasts with vehicle-specific performance parts, crate engines, and transmissions that are designed, engineered, tested, and backed.
Ernie Francis Jr. just stepping out of the car, your 2017 champion. At COTA this weekend, you took the pole. You had to fight for it back. You were chasing down Lojack. Walk us through how you got the lead back, Ernie.
Yeah, first of all, I got to thank the guys at the original Frameless Shower Doors, framelessshowerdoors.com. They got us out here. Without them, we couldn't have done it. You guys got to go check them out. But yeah, it was a great race for us. Started on pole, had a little bit of issue on the start. Justin Marks got by us. He got a drive-through penalty. On the restart, couldn't see the green that well, got jumped by a few cars, and just had to work our way through the field again. And yeah, Lojack was tough. He was defending really, really good, and it was hard to try and make a move on him. He made a little slip up going into 1 on the last lap. I was able to get alongside him, and it was a drag race down to 2 and through the S's, and we got it done, so couldn't be happier about that.
Well, he had already clinched the championship coming into this weekend, Rick. It was just all about getting that win, and Ernie Francis Jr. sure did that today, guys.
It was a great battle.
Amazing side-by-side battle on the last lap. As a race fan, you love to see last lap passes for the lead.
Tommy Dreese ends up on the podium, 3rd in that 8 car in front of Amy Ruman, who recovered from the spin. Justin Marks gets shuffled back to 5th at the end in front of Simon Gregg and Vinny Allegretta and the rest of your Trans Am field. Ashley catching up with our runner-up today.
Lawrence Lojack, you drove a heck of a race. You almost had it there until the last lap. Tell us what happened.
Man, I mean, there's a reason why Junior's a champion. I was driving my butt off in that car, maybe a little too hard. I lost the rear tires, and you know, I was doing everything I could to keep Junior behind me, everything. And you know, he's a brilliant racer. I had to change my line a couple of times. I knew where he was strong, where I was definitely weak. And, you know, trying to keep P1, but again, there's a reason why he's champ. He knew right on the last lap. I went in deep. That's everything I could try to do, just keep ahead of him, and he just squeaked in front. And then, you know, hats off to Meissen and to Ernie, but can't say thank you enough to Burton Racing, Pennzoil, ETE, Exalta, everybody who gave me this opportunity. Claudio Burton, Gary, thank you so much. This was incredible. Hopefully, I'll be back.
And it is an accomplishment, a 2nd place finish in his Trans Am debut, Rick.
Woo! Well, we hope that Lawrence Lojack will be back as well, performing in his debut like a winner, a champion. Fun to watch him slide that TA car around.
In TA3, Jason Daskalos is your winner in his Dodge Viper in front of points leader Mark Bowden and his teammate Tim Kesman. Dirk Leuenberger in another Viper ends up in 4th in front of Milton Grant, who recovers from that lap 1 spin. Take a look at the championship standings in TA3. Mark Bowden is the leader by 17 over Tim Kesman. We'll see what happens at Daytona to settle that championship. Their teammate Tom Herb is 3rd.
Fresh out of this machine here, your Dodge Viper got the job done at COTA today. Jason, congratulations.
Thank you. That was a tough race. Those Ginettas are on rails, I tell you. I mean, we had the speed in the straights, but in the corners, they just suck up right to you. So what a great race for those guys, and I'm sorry that one of them broke down. It would have been fun to the end.
Those Ginettas we may well see at TA3 competition next year. Exhibition entries this weekend. A very happy Jason Daskalos. Shane Lewis as well, wire to wire in that Mel Shaw Tribute Ford Mustang, the 22, defeating Todd Napierowski in his Chevrolet Performance Camaro, and Brian Kleeman, the points leader, in the 07 car. TA2 contender Shane Lewis wins in his TA4 debut. He's with Ashley.
Shane Lewis just stepping out of the car. You started on pole, and you got a very emotional victory today. Tell us about that, Shane.
Yeah, it's a little tough to talk about. Myself and the crew pretty choked up because this is for our buddy Mel Shaw. You know, we miss him dearly. We lost him this year, you know, and this one's for him. Thank you, PF. This Mustang was really, really awesome. Great Pirelli tires. Trans Am Championship is awesome. It's a little emotional, but thank you.
It's a beautiful tribute to Mel Shaw. Thank you, Shane.
And a great drive by a real pro. Shane Lewis has won all around the world in a variety of machines. Michael McDowell showcasing his skills here today.
No better guy to represent Mel Shaw than Shane Lewis.
Brian Kleeman, meantime, clinches the TA4 championship with his run here this weekend. Napierowski will be 2nd in the final standings.
Brian Kleeman, congratulations. What does it mean to clinch this TA4 championship here at COTA?
Well, this is a really big deal for us. It was a pretty spectacular year. We had a lot of wins. You know, things went pretty well for us. We had a lot of good luck also. You know, here with DWW Motorsports, you know, bringing home the championship is a really big deal for us. I'm really happy for this.
Congratulations, Brian. What a big deal for the team this weekend. Go ahead and celebrate.
Brian Kleeman not having an uneventful day, had that flat tire early in the race, was able to get back on the racetrack and clinch the championship.
Big weekend, though, for Kleeman, who has been the dominator in TA4 from the start of the season back last spring. Trans Am West in competition here this weekend. The great veteran Greg Pickett with a top 10 run here today. He clinches the TA West title over Tommy Dreese. All 5 races, they had quite a battle here today. But the major story, the fight up front between Lawrence Lojack, Ernie Francis Jr. Ernie Francis prevails for the 9th time in 2017. We congratulate Jason Daskalos and our other winner, Shane Lewis. For Michael McDowell, Ashley Van Dyke, I'm Rick Benjamin. Thanks for watching Trans Am, presented by Pirelli.